Hey everybody, I'm Shane Ireland.
I'm Alan Britt.
I'm Steve Mobby.
And I'm Andy Wyke.
Welcome to another episode of Mystery Review, where we humiliate ourselves over and over again for your entertainment.
First of the year.
First of the year.
Partly for our own entertainment.
Is it first of the year?
Yeah.
I think so.
Oh man, what happened to Christmas and New Year's?
I mean, I don't even know which year it is, so...
Yeah, it's like 23, 24. 2026, that's the year. Is it?
Somewhere in the 20s.
It is.
It is 2026, yes.
2026-7.
Welcome, January Mystery Review.
Almost year of the horse.
It is almost the year of the horse, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Good year.
Movement, progression, we be trotting.
I'm a year of the
You be
dragon
drop.
myself.
You're
Not that
what?
dragons are cooler than horses,
I think I'm
but
a rooster.
A rooster?
Yeah.
interesting.
Wow.
This
Whatever
reminds me when I
1995
found out
was, I have no
what
idea.
my
I don't know.
Patronus was.
Yeah.
It was
is
a
it?
mole.
Mold?
Mole?
A mole.
Oh.
Okay.
I thought you
This
said,
is
That is one
that's
of the best
moldy.
rodents.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
Yeah.
That's a mole-ish
I'm like, cool.
jacket.
I thought you said mold.
No,
Nope, not at all.
A spirit animal is
no,
mold.
just a very small blind rodent. It tracks.
Yeah, I like it.
But think
I like
about how much stronger your other senses are.
like your tunneling sense.
Yeah, I'm pretty good at tunneling.
I've always said that dude looks like he could
got
tunnel real
tunnels.
good.
You know?
Our Inquisitor, our guest Inquisitor this month is our purchasing manager, Mr. Alex Peay. Alex came to us last summer, I think. Woodworker, cigar smoker, and burgeoning pipe smoker.
Yep.
So he picked something today, and it looks like he picked something that he thought we would enjoy. And I am enjoying it.
I think he's right.
Or far, yeah.
So, first thing I noticed off camera, I smelled it, and it immediately smelled familiar.
Yep.
Like I am positive I've sniffed this scent.
Yeah, you did immediately declare that you knew what this was already.
Yeah, I immediately changed my mind.
Oh, okay.
But I try to go into this with clean slate, no thoughts. Because if I have any idea,
no thoughts.
if I have
That's how I
even
do my job, too.
an
Right.
inclination of what I think it is, I stick to that no matter the evidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some real cognitive
Yeah.
dissonance.
And then you
going on
freak
there.
out and throw the sample if you're wrong.
Yeah.
That was well-deserved anger, man. That was pointed
Agreed.
anger.
Yeah, you should never live that shame down. That was
Yeah.
unacceptable.
But no, it smelled.
Which time are we talking about?
The back down south.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
his like
Yeah.
favorite blend of all time, or second favorite.
Number 2.
Yeah.
But yeah,
This, ooh.
it smells boozy. Rummy. To me, at least.
I'm convinced that there's no rum. Not because of anything that my senses tell me, but because our cameraman said that there is rum.
And he would never help us?
He would never help us.
That's fair.
No, it's us versus the cameraman,
Yeah.
really, in all
Yeah.
of these, in all of these
I found
scenarios.
that to be true.
Even when we're not on camera.
You know what? How come the cameraman's never been a guest panelist? Give him a taste of his own medicine. Maybe we should do that.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Let me film. I'll be Inquisitor.
Ooh.
I do regularly steal his mug that is like customized for his job title.
Ooh.
So I'm already basically impersonating our cameraman.
That's the only qualification we have, really, is like who holds that mug.
That's how
like
cross
a bear
training
with
is
on.
done.
That's how it works.
I am the social
So
media
this-
manager now.
Look at me.
This is definitely familiar. I feel like this is going to be an embarrassing one.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's my initial couple of guesses. I would have expected it to be a little spicier, and I'm getting sweetness and sort of creaminess, a decent amount of body.
Yeah.
The side stream just smells like Virginia's to me.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure yet if I'm willing to say that there's no other continental leaf.
All right. So going off, completely throwing what I just said to the side, I had a general direction in mind, and it was either that it was a straight Virginia or a vapor, and at least 2 minutes into this, I don't think there's Perique. I'm on the same page.
Which is interesting because my initial thoughts on this was that it was going to be a blend that definitely has Perique in it.
I see. So
It's possible that it's a blend where there's a little bit of debate as to whether or not it has Perique in it.
playing the Inquisitor, I see Alex as a straight Virginia guy. He's a classic gentleman, all American. Yeah.
Georgia.
Yeah. Georgia peach. some would
Molasses
call 'em.
dripping out of your mouth. Man. No, I'm sorry.
Thinking.
This is one of those situations. Like this is like the Orlick situation. I'm pretty sure,
Yeah.
where I feel like it's going to be one of the Virginias that I've said many times over the years was a favorite. It's very familiar.
Cut
So-
your teeth on 'em.
Yeah, for sure. So first of all, I'm definitely in the Danish or German
Yep.
as far as manufacturer goes.
I'm not.
You're not?
Really?
So,
What are you going to say? Australia?
it smells and looks like a C&D broken flake to me.
Really?
I mean, I could be wrong.
To be fair, I think Alan always says that.
I do. I was gonna say this. So in December, I got my first win of the year.
You got
and-
your first win of the year.
no, that was December. December was Yeti. November was my win.
Okay.
When it was Black Duck, and I was the only one that said C&D. Everyone else was on like a German.
That's fair. Like, I'm not saying you're always wrong when you say
Black
it's
Duck
always
also isn't a
C&D.
flake. It was a
That's
mixture.
true. Yeah. Gosh.
I'm not saying you're always wrong when you say C&D.
I don't
I'm just
know.
saying you always say
I
C&D.
do. But
And
it often,
eventually you're
No,
gonna be
you know what?
right.
You're probably right.
but
though.
it often is. Well, it just looks like a broken down C&D flake to me.
The bag note.
I think you might be right.
It also broke down like super fluffy where C&D flakes. I obviously know this isn't a shag. It broke down almost shag-like for me, which was I really just enjoyed generally.
So when I first pulled it out of the bag, it was still like pretty moist. And as it's been sitting here in front of me, kind of drying a little bit, like messing with it now, it is definitely crumbling very, very.
Not like
Crumbly-
ribbon, not
crumbly.
ribbon like. Yeah.
Yeah.
The bag to me smelled like after hours.
Yeah.
Interesting.
To not put everything out there, I was leaning. This is C&D Elegant series was like my initial guess. It's somewhere in that family, whether it be Manhattan Afternoon or After Hours.
So was this your initial guess that you dismissed, or like
This was
after-
my very first thought was Manhattan Afternoon.
Okay. Okay.
Which is bright.
Yeah.
No, I honestly, Alan, I think you are right. Now that I'm smoking it a little bit, there's a. I said creaminess, but it's also citrusy, and the C&D Virginias, and it kind of, with the exception of maybe stuff like Carolina Red Flake, that is definitely on the sort of like maltier sourdough, sort of Red Virginia vibe. A lot of the C&D stuff that has that Canadian bright leaf in it, to me, has both like a zesty citrus quality and like a creaminess to it.
Yeah.
That reminds me. It reminds me of like lemon meringue pie a little bit.
Yeah.
And I get that. That creaminess verges on a soapy flavor. Not anywhere near Lakeland soapy, but there's a note in certain tobaccos that kind of always reminds me of like either a soapiness or like a Play-Doh kind of a vibe. I've said that in the past.
Yeah.
And like all of those things are very closely related. And C&D Virginias give that to me naturally without the like Lakeland type toppings. I don't know that I'm smelling any booze, and both of you guys said rum.
Or maybe
I did not get a
I'm not
strong
getting-
sense
I'm
of
not
booze
getting
when I
much
sensed- when I
booziness.
smelled it.
maybe Maple Leaf.
I'm not getting very much flavoring at all.
Really?
Not really.
I smelled a strong. It's definitely dissipated. Like when I first opened my bag, it was pretty noticeable.
So Alex like coated the inside of the bags with rum to throw us off.
or he just breathed rum into it. A couple huffs of rum. I think you're right, though. I think this is a C&D. Like after the initial relight and whatnot, it's no longer tasting to me like European manufactured flakes, which often give me the honey vibe.
This is good. I think you nailed it with like lemon meringue. It's got this very mild lemon note to it, and also the super creaminess like that. Not a custard. Meringue.
Yeah.
This creaminess kind of overtone. I dig it.
It's rich. There's a little bit of a malty character. I do think I would be shocked if this was all bright leaf, not just because of the appearance, because you've got like some darker clumps, which it's hard to tell if that's darker tobacco or if it's just from the pressing.
Yeah.
Not a ton of sweetness on the finish, but I do get sweetness initially. Yeah, it's like butter cookies and things like that. I'm not getting a ton of spice, not getting a ton of strength.
No.
It's got a nice body though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely becoming more and more convinced that there's no Perique here.
Yeah, in that same vein, once again, I'm kind of, at least for now, sticking that it's something in that elegant series. Sunday Picnic, I don't think it is. It's got not necessarily a heavy dose of Perique, but it's
It's got
there.
Turkish too.
Yeah.
Yeah, this isn't. I did just get some tingle on the retro hill, but I don't think that's. I think that's just because it's smoke.
That's just that's
just normal.
Yeah, that's your
just
natural
normal.
tingle, man.
Your natural tingle.
Natural tingle.
Shane's a tingly guy.
Boy, got a tingle from time to
Boy got a tingle. Put that on my tombstone. Boy got a tingle.
It's super nice though.
Yeah.
If you really back off on your cadence and just like barely sip it, it's crazy flavorful.
No.
If you puff like nuts, it's,
Yeah, I think this is what. Admittedly, I've never been one for straight Virginias. It's just not my thing. I prefer a what's the marketing term, Andy? A melange,
is that a marketing
a
term?
flavorful melange.
Let's go with that. Let's do it.
I think you mean parfait.
Yeah. A delicate amalgam
Yeah,
of flavors.
Yeah, I'm just usually not one for straight Virginias, but like this is when I think of what would entice people to smoke that kind of blend. This is it. Like this is easy sipping.
I really am not sure, but I feel like that is probably a majority of bright leaf. I'm tasting some maltiness and some of those sourdough bread notes that I associate with a lot of the red Virginias that Jeremy uses. Man, this one's tough.
I think it might be honey that I'm smelling. And not rum.
Maybe.
Okay.
Which one of those, if I'm not mistaken, after hours is
Rum.
is rum. Manhattan is honey.
Manhattan is honey. I think there's another one with honey too.
Interlude.
Interlude.
Interlude. Yeah.
Interlude's both red and bright, right?
I think it's all bright.
It's all red.
All red.
It's all red and Manhattan's all bright.
Yep. I'm pretty sure.
I think you're right, yeah.
Yeah.
And then after hours is rum. Sunday Picnic is bright Turkish and Perique. Red Carpet is red and Perique.
A vapor.
And then opening night is nearly equal portions of red and bright. Opening night. And I don't think there's a flavoring, or at least not disclosed. When's the last time any of y'all smoked Union Square?
Quite some time.
Yeah,
It's been a while.
A long time.
That is red and bright with like the bright in focus more than the red, I'm pretty sure.
That's interesting.
And this is tasty.
It is.
It's also like spicing up a little bit as I get down in this bowl.
Yeah, I'm still not picking up any spice, really.
It's mild, but like tingly retro hell.
Oh, you guys are tingling today.
Yeah. I try.
Except for us, man. This is the non-tingle side of the table.
It's the mole side of the
We're
table.
serious men.
Yeah, I'm still really just not getting any of that spice anywhere in here.
No, like I said, the sensation of there being like a little more spice in there on the retro hail, I think, is just I think it's just somewhat normal. Like if you're retrohaling any tobacco,
Yeah.
and it's not at all spicy, then that's interesting. I don't know that I've come across that. Yeah, I don't know if I've come across that.
If you put smoke through your nose, it tends to be a little spicy.
Yeah, if there's any Perique in here, to me at least, it is very condimental.
Yeah, I'm on that train.
You guys don't think this could be like a Sun Bear or anything, do you?
Well, this may be blasphemy.
I don't think so.
I have not smoked a lot of Sun Bear. And that sounds like insane as a big C&D lover. It just like wasn't ever my personal jam. I was always a Red Flake guy.
Red Flake was always, well, except
Yes.
for Steamworks, Red Flake was always.
I was going to
the
say
favorite.
Steamworks,
I do think this year's, or this most recent Sun Bear,
the Navy cask.
was my favorite one.
Yes.
It's definitely not that.
I'm gonna
But
throw
we're
it back.
talking. We've all said honey and rum.
Yeah, yeah.
Like there may be a little bit of continental leaf in here, and I believe there's Izmir. Isn't there a little bit of Oriental in Sun Bear?
Yeah.
I don't think that's what it is based on the cameraman's reaction when I said Sun Bear, but
I will also say, speaking of the cameraman,
he gave me like a oh honey kind of like oh honey kind of reaction. What?
Speaking of the cameraman, he did say he was confident that we were not going to guess this. I don't think he would have been that confident if it was
If it was something like that, yeah. I don't know. Sometimes the most easy, obvious ones are the ones that we
That's
talk ourselves
fair.
out of.
That's fair.
Yeah.
And he is just a tricky guy, so who knows?
It is a trickster.
A little birdie told me that I would enjoy this tobacco. That was the only hint that I got.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you guys getting any Oriental?
I keep kind of trying to convince myself that I'm tasting something besides Virginia's.
Yeah.
There's a piece of green leaf.
Interesting.
Really? I thought that initially, and that there was something with like a hint of green. But maybe not. Just a very light piece of Virginia.
What do you guys think about age? Anything notable? I'm not sure. I would
would
guess that
assume-
this was aged very well.
Fairly fresh or an insignificant amount of age.
Yeah. Also,
Also, what do we know about Alex?
I was going to say, he hasn't been a pipe smoker very long. He probably doesn't have a very deep cellar to have picked from.
One of my favorite things. So like our offices are right beside each other, obviously, and he's at the front end of his tobacco journey. So I've super enjoyed just giving him stuff to smoke and giving him recommendations. So like I gave him a cigar to smoke last week. He smoked it, said he loved it, and then he goes, I wish it was a little bit smaller and a little punchier. I immediately was like, here's that same cigar in like a petite Corona, try this, and then we talked about the differences, and that it brings me back to a decade ago starting this, and I wish I had an Alan Britt, giving me recommendations. And
We should all have our own personal Alan
Yeah.
Britt.
yeah, just holding my hand.
The world would be a much more chaotic place.
Oh yeah.
Also, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure how much of the. Actually, I think Alex told me that a little while ago he binged a bunch of mystery reviews.
Yeah,
if I'm
he
not
did.
mistaken.
Yeah.
So he's at least aware of like some of the trickery that's gone down in the past. One of my initial thoughts when we landed back on C&D, and the fact that this is like, I mean that doesn't mean anything, but it's like a broken flake kind of a cut.
Yeah.
Part of me was like, could he have taken something from the Summit series and ran back to C&D and cut it? But I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he would go to those lengths.
If he did, yeah, this would be phenomenal.
Yeah, he did an amazing job of disguising that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they look much better than my
When I cut a plug.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, there's no way that this wasn't done like on an actual cutter.
Oh, yeah.
If that's what was done, and I'm not saying I'm even leaning in that direction.
Jeremy put me on the cross-cutting like plugs, and that was the first time I ever really enjoyed it. Doing a cube cut.
Man, this is super good. I'm starting to get some of that graham cracker kind of a vibe.
There's part of me that's like, what about Bijou?
Oof.
I haven't smoked these in a
Red
long
Virginia Oriental honey.
Man, it's been forever since I've smoked Bijou fresh because I have kind of a bunch of it laid down from years ago. But it's stoved, and this doesn't look stoved enough to me. Even if it's lightly stoved, I'd be shocked if this was Bijou. Because even fresh, it was like pretty dark and pretty uniformly, cooked.
Dude, Bijou's that's a good go. In my opinion, that's a.
You're thinking Bijou?
No, I mean, like, I think it's a possibility. I think it's a real good pull. I just haven't smoked it in so long. Like, original release was what, 16? So it's been around a while now.
Also, we feel like it's a C&D product, but we haven't talked at all about GLP splits and all the other stuff that comes out of the C&D factory.
Yeah. It's hard for me to pull a lot of deep cuts with straight Virginias, just as someone who doesn't smoke a lot of straight Virginias.
Not Briarworks.
I don't think there's a straight Virginia at Briarworks.
Back down south is the only
back there.
flake.
Yeah. Missouri Meerschaum, I think,
Luminaire.
or other cakes or flakes. Well, flake would make sense.
Yeah.
But I don't think any of them are straight Virginia, and I'm almost sure this is a straight Virginia.
Yeah, I'm very heavily leaning in that direction.
I was going to throw out the Red Hunt, but I think the Perique is far more noticeable
Yeah.
in that flake, but it does have that creaminess and that sort of softer, zestier character.
This is gonna sound dumb, but are there straight Virginias in the peace line? Okay.
Union Square is probably the most
Square.
ubiquitous, but even stuff like Embarcadero is like reds, maybe a little bright, and like a little bit of Turkish. Again, oh man, I don't think Embarcadero is a bad guess. I'm still leaning in the direction that I feel like this is more bright leaf than red Virginia, though.
Yeah.
Real.
Yeah, that's been my problem with a lot of these suggestions.
This is a tough one. I will say that, like, I'm more impressed with this blend than I have been probably in a long time that we've done this.
Yes.
Like, this is something I would smoke regularly.
It's easy. It's an all-day blend. Easy sipping. Like all I did was drink some oats before this, so I'm on, not a heavy stomach.
Just drinking your raw oatmeal milkshakes in the morning.
Drinking oats.
I think you mean eating.
Oh no,
He does
that's
not.
not what I mean.
He does not.
It's not what I said.
Funneling oats.
Yeah, but yeah, this is like you could smoke this first thing in the morning. I think it's mild enough. I would also be perfectly fine smoking this after a nice meal.
Yeah, I mean, I feel the nicotine presence a little bit. Like it's medium, mild to medium, maybe medium plus.
Also, I don't know what to make of this, but when I took this out of the bag, it was very moist, to the point that I thought it was going to be like a problem and that I would need to let it dry longer. For one thing, it dried here on the table remarkably quickly, and it is burning quickly in my pipe.
Yeah, I think I got the pack just right. Like, it's staying lit, and I'm getting the flavor that I want without much temperature. I do think that that's another clue that it's a C&D, though.
Yeah.
I find that even though there's a lot of other manufacturers that use a higher percentage of, I don't want to say preservatives, but the things that maintain moisture and keep the integrity of the tobacco, they tend to take a little bit longer to dry out.
Yeah.
And C&D stuff is a lot more responsive to airtime and to packing method. And more often than not, I'm going straight out of the tin and having no problems.
I really hope to one day become one of those guys who just doesn't have to do all the prep work and just stuffs tobacco in their pipe and lights up. Like, I saw a video last night of Grant Batson just taking like coins and stuff in 10 seconds, just stuffed them in a pipe, lit them up, it lit up. And I'm envious of that. It's real nonchalant.
That should have been your New Year's resolution.
You're stuffing things in the pipes. I'm a over preparer.
I do think that we tend to do ourselves a disservice by fiddling too much instead of just smoking.
Yeah, I think because of my concern about the moisture content, I underpacked my bowl originally and have now had to reload.
There is a unique flavor here that I'm struggling to put my finger on, and it's going to drive me nuts if I can't come up with what it is. I think we either need to make a guess or find out here in a minute, though.
What about pipes?
You want to talk pipes?
Yeah, we can do that.
Can you go first? Because that's a cool pipe.
I like this pipe a lot. This is as plain Jane of a pipe design as it gets. A little Group 3, Group 4 blasted billiard by Michael Parks. Killer blast, perfect shaping, and of everything in my collection, this is maybe my most recent acquisition. I got this at the West Coast show a couple months ago. It is fast. It's in my top 3 pipes ever.
It's
really
after just a couple months.
Okay.
It smokes incredible. It's simple. Like I really, really like this pipe. Yeah.
Does that tamper go along with it, or was that like a separate?
No, this is an Oeda tamper made by Smio Sato's apprentice several years ago. It's a rushi lacquer in silver.
Nice. Very cool.
But yeah. Black blasted
nice pipe.
Group 3, Group 4 billiard.
Yeah.
Kind of doesn't get better than that.
Yeah.
I went with my workhorse G.A. Zhang Virginia pipe. This is my car pipe. Yeah, I puff this thing down a lot while driving, and it smokes Virginia blends really well.
Nice. I got my Micah Redmond blowfish here.
Nice.
Little mini fish.
Little mini fish.
Little guppy.
Yeah, little guppy. Minnow.
I do love that pipe.
Yeah. Nice little pipe.
Yeah.
I've got a Sierra El Tang Devil Ants. One of the first prototypes that Tom made. So
Very nice piece.
Yeah.
I like how it's more ball shaped than like the more eggier versions.
Yeah.
Also, great grain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect proportions.
Yeah.
Devil Ants is like easily a top 3 shape for me, and Tom's might be number 1 for me. That's killer. I got immediate pipe envy.
Absolutely. So what is everybody's guess is going to be?
I flip-flop back and forth. My immediate guess upon smelling this was Manhattan Afternoon. I said I was not going to stick with that guess because I always stick with something and then it's always wrong. I'm going to go Manhattan Afternoon, but if it's After Hours Flake, I'll take a half point.
Steve?
I'll take a half a point. I'll take a half a point no matter what it is. I give Alan a hard time, but I'm gonna go with Manhattan. I'm following his gut.
Don't do that.
We're going down together,
That's
man.
pressure, man.
I think I'm picking up like a little bit of Oriental. I'm gonna guess Bijou.
That's a good guess, man.
Yep.
That's good.
I just don't know what to do.
Don't go down with this shit, man.
Yeah, I
Pull
just
us
don't know
out.
what to do.
Say something European, cover our bases.
Or like,
That's the way.
no, I mean,
When I first looked at this, I did get an Orlick vibe.
yeah. I am pretty convinced it's C&D at this point, though.
Yeah, I have not gotten it since the initial impression, but that was just my first thought.
I'm just digging for a deep cut, and I can't think of anything that would make sense. Oh man, this is gonna bug me. All right, you know what? I'm gonna say Embarcadero. Why not? I'll stick with that.
Fair
I don't think it's
guess.
right, but I'm gonna say it.
Yeah, fair guess.
All right, let's find out.
Hey guys, it's Alex Peay, purchaser here at Smokingpipes.com. Today I picked the Ellipsis Flake. It's got a little bit of everything in it. Some Virginia, a little bit of Perique, some Burley. I know we've got some lovers of Virginias in this group, and so I figure you guys have a pretty good shot at guessing this one.
You thought wrong.
That was a good pick. That
Yeah.
was a good pick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull up the components here just to like remind myself
Ain't no way.
what's here. And I'm frustrated that I didn't go down that like GLPs, Virginias with Oriental sort of thing.
Yep.
I should have trusted my gut, man. The
You
nose,
did trust your
no,
gut.
the nose hair tingle, man. The nose tingle it's burly every time.
It's often Oriental.
It's not burly every time.
Yeah, I mean, Virginia Perique, Burley Cav, Black Cav, and Oriental. I don't know if it's Black Cav or not, or if, let's
Yeah.
see here.
Maybe some brown cat.
That was a very good pull.
There
That
is
was a
some
very
like
good pull.
dark leaf in here.
I'm happy that I stuck with the Oriental. You stuck with the
Yeah.
Oriental.
Yeah.
I was getting close on the piece. If I just had another 45 to an hour, I think I would have gotten there.
The second bowl, yeah.
That's like a quarter point.
I just want to point out also, Ellipsis is like one of my favorite 10 artworks ever. That's an awesome 10.
Yep.
I thought you were gonna say it's one of your favorite smokes. everything we can't guess.
I mean, I enjoy it, but
I haven't revisited it since the
Yeah,
release.
I'm gonna have to.
turns out I liked it so much because it's not a straight Virginia.
Right. Right.
Nice one, Alex.
Yeah. Well done, Alex.
One of the books for your first Inquisitorship.
Nicely done.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks for watching.
We'll see you next
guys.
time.
See you next time.